Hi, my name is Regina Agyare, and I'm one of the awesome 25 yearly fellows here, and I'm very excited to be here. Today I'm going to tell you a story of my journey and how I'm using technology to empower girls and transform the African continent. So I come from a country called Ghana. Ghana is in West Africa, and Ghana is a beautiful country that's blessed with a lot of natural resources. We have gold, we have cocoa, we have the largest man-made lake, and we just discovered oil. But our most valuable resource is our human resource. When I was young, I always tell this story. I was into science and technology, and at the time, I believed everything I saw on TV. So there was a man who was able to fly with a rocket strapped on his back, and I'd never traveled, so I wanted to fly. So I drew a prototype of the rocket, and I took it to my science teacher, who said that it was impossible, girls don't build rockets, and I would end up in the kitchen. He told me to just continue to study, and that's what I did. But the problem was that our educational system is based on rote memorization, especially when it comes to the sciences. So all you do is you memorize, repeat, and forget. We were just like parrots, repeating what the teacher said without understanding it. I went on an exchange program in Norway, and before I left, I was one of the best students in science. And I didn't just think I was the best student in science. There was actually a league table where they graded all the first years, all the second years, and all the third years. And I was first on that league table. So not only was I the best science student, I was the best student in the first years. So I decided to do science. I get a problem, and I get a formula book. That's when I realized there was a big problem, because I could not apply. So I could draw a very advanced electrical circuit from something I'd memorized from a book. But if you gave me 2 electrical wires and a light bulb, I would be stuck. I thought, how can we change this? Our government is so focused on the quantity of children that go through school and not the quality. It increased its basic school enrollment from 61% in 1999 to 84%. But once again, the focus is on quantity and not quality. So we thought, how can we teach rural children STEM skills? Because in today's world, reading, writing, and counting is not enough. You need to be able to think critically. You need to be able to problem solve. And what I've learned from the theory engineering class, you need to be able to communicate. So we picked the most remote village to run pilots. We introduced the children to science and technology games, to conducting experiments, and we were amazed. The learning curve was very high. They had a very high aptitude for learning. We ran the pilots in several other towns to ensure that we would get the same result. And that's what happened. Then, we were asked to take our program to deaf children. I was very ignorant about the situation of the disabled in my country. That was because I didn't see any disabled people. Apart from a couple of beggars that you would see on the street, I thought probably there are like 100 deaf children, because I'd been everywhere in Ghana. The disability rate in Ghana is between 10 to 15%, and the problem is so severe that they hide. They are kept away from society. When I went to the State School of the Deaf, there were literally hundreds of deaf children. There was a girl who had been sent to welcome me, and as part of the welcome party, she had to take my bag. So this girl reaches for my bag, and I also reach back for my bag because I didn't know she was a welcome party. So for 5 minutes, we are struggling with the bag. I saw the frustration in her face and the embarrassment in mine when I realized she was the welcome party. So we thought, how can we integrate the deaf into the community? We developed an application that converts text to sign language, and we're hoping to scale it to convert voice to sign language. We'll be working with the State School of the Deaf because there's something called the deaf culture, and you must include that in your technology. The aha moment I had was during the pilots that we were having. As a female in technology, I had gone through several discrimination being in Africa. I had been told several times of the things I can't do, from when I wanted to study computer science to when I wanted to start my own business. All I kept hearing was, girls don't do this, girls don't do that, girls don't do this. I got sick and tired of hearing that. And I thought, how can I empower the next generation of women to do whatever they want to do? If they want to build a rocket, if they want to code the next cool technology that saves lives, if they want to build robots, if they want to code mobile apps, they should be able to do it. How can I empower the next generation of women to think that there's nothing they can't do? And that's how Tech Needs Girls was born. So Tech Needs Girls, we're empowering girls to lead and innovate by learning to code. Because I believe that coding is the language of the future. And it's a great skill to have to enable you to create something. So with Tech Needs Girls, like I said, it's a mentorship program. We teach girls how to create technology. We have several workshops where we demystify them from that idea that science and technology is just for boys. When we run these programs, most of the girls are expecting that a developer is this geeky guy who has socially awkward skills. And I'm always trying to show them that you can be a developer and still be fashionable. So we talked about how long it takes to develop things like a basic mobile app. We also use social media a lot because, like I said, another important skill is to be able to communicate. We go into mentorships because if you tell a young girl that she can be an astronaut, but she never sees a female astronaut, you've said literally nothing to her. So you have to present to her other women that are in technology. And so our mentors are 20 of the best computer scientists and engineers in Ghana. And they are all female. And we also introduce them to new technologies such as robotics. Something that was very daunting to me was what some people may consider a social media campaign, which was Bring Back Our Girls. I work in the slum. That's where we have our biggest group. And the girls that I work with are predominantly Muslim girls. In my community, the girls are allowed to go to school. But the challenge is that their parents and the community doesn't believe in the value of educating the girl. So not only was Bring Back Our Girls something very real to me, it was a way for me to go beyond the hashtag and do something. We're empowering girls from the slum who by 12 years old are forced into early marriage. This group that we're working with here was actually started by a 12-year-old girl called Amina. And at the age of 12, her uncle wanted her to marry. So she ran away from home and got help and started this group. So they reached out to us to come and mentor them. And we've adopted the Achievers Book Club, and I've been working with them ever since. We work with 250 girls from the slums, from the urban slums in Ghana, and we're teaching them not only to speak up, not only to ask for their right to be educated, but also to develop a skill that they can use to economically empower themselves. So once again, we go through mentorship. It's amazing. You will come to the slum in Accra and find a 12-year-old girl who can write HTML, or find a 12-year-old girl who can develop a mobile application. You'll find her being able to stand in front of an audience and defend her code. You'll find her being able to present the work that she's done. We have guest sessions where we introduce the girls to a broad range of science subjects. In this session, this lady is a PhD in tissue and material engineering, and she's teaching the girls about carbon compounding in a very interesting way. One of the things that I am very privileged about is what my work allows me to do. And if you're going to put young children, give them access to technology, the other important thing is you must make sure that they are secure and safe. So I'm part of a group that is working to update the UN Committee for the Rights of Children, the Convention for Children in the Digital Age. So we're working on a project, and we're going to make a suggestion to the UN Commission to change the rights of the children to include security for children in today's digital age. We've been embraced by the community. Our center sits right on top of a mosque. So as the fathers are praying below, the girls are learning above. And the community has started to see the benefit and value of educating their girl child. Now our classrooms are teeming with girls, and there's been a huge demand from the community to add boys. So maybe next year you'll hear we have Tech Needs boys. But for now, I'm just going to focus on the girls. We received an award from the community. But what was most important about the award was the fact that the community members had started to see the value of giving the child the right skills. When our girls are done with the training program, we've connected with 2 software companies such that they get internships and start to be able to make money. So now, when her father says, don't go to school because I can't pay, she'll say, Daddy, I can go to school because I have my own money. The curricula that we're using to teach the girls, we want to scale it. So like me, who was unable to put 2 pieces of wire together and a light bulb to light a bulb, or who was restricted from having a practical approach to science and technology, we want to take the curricula, our STEM curricula that we're developing, and scale it to all public schools. We want every child to have the opportunity to use their natural creativity, their natural curiosity, to build all sorts of solutions. We believe that Africans can and should be able to solve their own problems, and we want to give them the skills to be able to do that. I am very hopeful that the next time you hear about Tech Needs Girls, or you hear about me, I would have shown you a myriad of young girls who are doing changing solutions, who are change makers in their own way, who are not only building solutions that are benefiting the African continent, but building solutions that the rest of the world can use. Thank you.